I have told this story so many times, but never in such a way that exposes myself as much as this one will. Hello, I'm Angelita, and for those of you who don't know me or aren't familiar with this channel, I tend to make music-related content. Slowly, I've integrated embracing other cultures and travel. So if you're into all of that, or throughout this video you realize you like my vibe, I welcome you to subscribe, because low-key, this is my job now. So back in October 2018, when I was 21, living my best life in Korea, I was using this app called Tinder. And this is a part that I always omit when I tell this story because I don't want people to judge me for using Tinder. Now, before you do, I just used Tinder honestly to practice talking to guys because at the time I had been single for 3 years and I had not spoken to a male in any vicinity of free will for 3 years. So your girl was rusty, and Tinder in Korea is way better than using Tinder in Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico I probably know who you are or you're my cousin. It was safe to use Tinder, and on this particular weekend I matched with 2 guys that are relevant to the story. So one of them was actually this American guy who came to Korea for a festival, and the other was a Korean guy who was into Bad Bunny. Now, I met up with both of these guys this weekend, but before you judge me again, I met them with my friends. So, how this happened was, this was a 3-day weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, the festival that this guy was going to was actually the same festival that I was going to. All Fruit Fest. So, we were like, oh yeah, we can meet up at the festival. Something that I want to highlight, because this guy is such a good guy. Like, he's really sweet and he's like genuine. I remember I was telling him like, oh, like I don't have like any guy friends, blah blah blah, or like they're always like trying to hit on me or blah, like not be wholesome. And he was like, well, you have a friend in me. And maybe am I quoting Toy Story? He basically told me that, you know, you have a friend now. While I was talking to him, I also was talking to this other guy who, his name's Jin. I'm gonna say it because there's so many Jins in Korea, like you're never gonna find out which one it was. And Jin and I decided to meet up on the following evening, so Saturday night, right? So it's Saturday, and I had told Jin, I'm gonna meet up with you, but I'm gonna bring my friends and we can go clubbing and whatever. So we go to this like K-barbecue place, and I'm gonna be straight with you guys. This man, I'm so sure he was on a mission to get us drunk, and it worked. That was the first time in my life that I got drunk. So homeboy got us drunk, like whew. But I really understood that I was drunk when we went to this bar that was formerly called, what is it, Sinkhole? No, well, Go-Go's S2, Go-Go's 2. It's now named Sabotage. So we went there, and when we went to the clubs, he actually like hit up this girl that he was friends with, and she came and she was really nice. But like she and I were talking on the side because she was like, yo, are you dating him? And I was like, no. And she told me that basically she thought he was a con man, but that's a whole story in itself why he might be a con man. Let's not go into details right now. So anyway, we went to Go-Go S2, now Sabotage, and when we were leaving, that bar, like it's on a basement level, so you have to go down some stairs to enter it and go upstairs to leave. So when we were going up the stairs, Angelita realized she was not all there. So Xiomari was holding me, and I was just like, Xiomari, I don't understand what's going on. Why do I feel like this? I was so drunk, and we went to the convenience store next to what is now Sabotage on that corner. It's on the same street that Attention is at, so if you know Hongdae, then you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, just watch my clubbing guide, because I kind of give like a map of all these places basically. So we're at the convenience store, and I'm like losing my mind. I'm low-key crying. I called my mom and everything. I was like, mommy, I'm drunk, I don't understand, mommy, help me. And my mom was just like, how am I gonna help you? Lost cause. This is literally on video, but I will never share this, because if I ever want to have a job in real life, then I should not even be talking about this. Point is, well, we're at that convenience store and I'm having a mental breakdown. I was somehow physically able to check my phone. And when I checked my phone, I got a text from Cone, which was the DJ from Tinder. And he was telling me, hey, I'm at Gangnam right now. We're at this club called Arena. You should come. I'll tell them like to put you on the list, blah, blah, blah. My drunk sobered up real quick when I saw that text. I was like, oh shit. Like, this guy is working at Off Route. He's inviting me to Arena, which is, from what I've heard, a like bougie club in Gangnam. It's not that good of a club. And I was just like, when am I ever gonna get this opportunity again? Like, who knows who's gonna be there? So I might as well go and meet him up. So I showed somebody the text and I was like, we gotta go, girl. So sober me up and let's get the out of here. Oh, well, this is happening. One of my other friends who was with us and the Korean guy, Jin, they were beyond drunk. Like, these people were toppling over each other, about to make falling on the floor, that kind of level. So Siomari, my sobering up self, and the girl who was Jin's friend, we were like, okay, we gotta get them together. We gotta get this like in order because we're all going to Arena. Siomari and I took our friend to her dorm while she was, in her state. And then the girl and Jin, like, she took care of him and she was like, we'll meet you guys at Arena. So after Siomari and I dropped off our friend, we hauled that taxi to Arena. Like, there was no way in hell that I was not going to this club. So at this point, I'm pretty sobered up, and I'm pretty sure it was like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, somewhere around that time. So we get to Arena and we meet up with Jin, who's like slightly better, and his friend. And we're waiting outside for like, no lie, like 20-30 minutes, because the four of us were just so scared of not being let in. Because the Korean guy, Jin, he was like, we're not getting into that club. They're not going to let us in. Like, they're not going to let me in, and they're not going to let you in because you're foreigners. Wow, that was almost like rap. He really instilled this fear in me, because I was like, you're a cute Korean guy. Like, why are they not going to let you in? And then why are they not going to let us in? Like, why did my friend tell us they were going to let us in? Now I'm scared. Now I don't want to do this anymore. And, ow. That made us wait outside for a hot minute. So I text my friend, I'm like, yo, I'm outside, but I don't think they're gonna let me in. He was like, just like tell them this table number, they're gonna let you in. So once we had this vital information, we got inside the club and they gave us these bands, and it was like, I think the ones that you pay for, they're green, and the ones that are for like the table service guest are blue. So they put that one on us, and they told us, oh, they're at table 22. So I'm just like, is nobody here gonna take me to the table? Because I don't know where the tables are. Here's a piece of advice. I don't even know if Arena's open anymore. I don't know if they got bankrupt. I don't know what's going on. But if it is open for business and you ever have to go to a table, they're in the back. There's like the DJ section in like the middle, and then behind that are the tables. So it was there. We found him on the way to the table, right, or to that general area, and like he hugged me. He was like really sweet. He was really nice. He was like, hey, we're like on the way, all the way to the back, so just go over there and I'll meet you there in a sec. So we got there, and it was full of like Korean people that looked like they worked at ENG. I don't know if that makes any sense. Just like look at J Park's backup dancers, and they basically kind of look like that crowd. Unfortunately, Cone only stayed there for like 10 minutes. That's where we got there, which was kind of counterproductive. So I was like, I just met you and now you're leaving. Story of my life with any guy that I've ever been somewhat interested in. But let's not go there. After like 10 minutes of us being at the table, Siomari, myself, Jin, and Jin's friend, I don't remember her name, so we're gonna call her Ashley. So Colin tells me that he has to leave, and I'm like really bummed out, because I'm like, well, what's the point of us being here? Like, who am I gonna talk to? And they're like, yeah, but you guys can keep this table for yourselves. Like, this is your table now. Like, blah, blah, take all the drinks. And we were like, oh, okay. So some other people stayed from, like, their crew. Some people stayed, but Cone and this one guy who I'm pretty sure he's, like, a backup dancer for J Park, they left. But, like, I remember well, I was talking to Cone. He was telling me, oh, they're going to the festival. He told the backup dancer, oh, they're going to the festival tomorrow. And the other guy offered to get us like passes and stuff. I was like, oh, we already have like, we already bought entrances, so like, thank you, but we don't really need them. So that was really nice of him. Somehow, like, I ended up with that guy's phone number because Cone didn't have like service in Korea, so we were texting through the backup dancer's phone. So yeah, they left, and a few minutes later, a bunch of like this new group of people came to the table. So in this new group, there were some Americans, including Jarv D, who's really nice, and Vic Mensa, who was having the time of his life. And they like briefly introduced themselves to Xiomari and I. And I remember Vic was trying to tell me his name, and I just did not understand. He was like, when we were introducing ourselves, because it's so loud, he was like, my name, I'm Vic. And I thought he said Vix. So I was like, Vix, okay. He's like, Vic. I thought his name was Vix, like, dumb. And it wasn't until like later on that I realized this was Vic Mensa, and I had to actually like listen to some of his songs prior to like even considering going to Korea. So that was kind of embarrassing. But more importantly, I met Jarv, and Jarv D is quite underrated, but he's really nice. He's a really nice person. And I remember when I was talking to him, he told me he was from Seattle. And so when he said that, I was like, oh, Seattle to Seoul, blah, 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 you know, cheesy me. And I remember telling him that because of Seattle to Seoul, I started using San Juan to Seoul since I'm from Puerto Rico. So the next day, I like was texting in the morning with Cone, and he was telling me that the after party of Off-Route Festival was gonna be at Arena. So I was like, my ass is going to Arena again tonight. And at the actual festival itself, I wasn't able to like talk to him or anything because once again, he didn't have service. So after the festival, I went with one of my housemates to Arena instead of with Sumadi because she was like dead tired and she was over this. We were waiting at the convenience store next to Arena. And at the convenience store, I see the backup dancer. And I'm like, hey, like, is Cone here? Like, he texted me that he was gonna be here, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, they're still at the hotel. Like, I don't know if they're coming, or I don't think they're coming. And I was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, it was just like such bad timing. Like, the night before, I meet up with a dude and he left like 10 minutes after I came, and then the next day he's probably not even coming. Like, it was just so sad. So I was like, okay. And I asked the guy, hey, do you think they're gonna let us in? And he was like, probably, maybe. So we tried to get in, and fortunately, after like some very intense once-overs from the bouncers, we got in, but we had to pay this time, and it was like 20,000, and they put on the green band this time. I'll show like a little clip of me at home, ugly AF after that. But yeah, we went into the club for a while, and then eventually, I think it was like maybe 1 a.m., 1:30. The whole like off-road people came, so it was like Jay Park, Vic Mensa, Jarv D. I know that Woody Goldchild was there, Sick K was there. I don't remember who else, but they came in this like little, almost like a procession, like a hip hop procession. And they went straight up to the DJ booth, which is kind of like this sectioned off area in itself, and it has an entrance and everything. So they went inside there, and there's like a bouncer by the door. And I'm like, that was a lot of people. Like, how do I know Gashi and Cone aren't there? So I was like, this is my time to YOLO, because I need to know if this dude is here, because he's literally leaving tomorrow, so what the I was so brave. My had no to give that night. There was this one guy who kept going in and out of that VIP section. So I go up to the entrance where the bouncer is, and when that guy comes like out or in, one of the millions of times he did, I was like, hey, can you tell so-and-so that I'm here? Tell him that Angelita, the foreign girl, is like here, like Cone's friend, blah, blah, blah. So I did this about like 5, 6, or 7 times with this one individual coming in and out, until eventually he got sick of me. And he just like grabbed me and he told the bouncer, let her in. And so he just like shoved me inside the VIP section. And it was like a magical movie moment where like the protagonist goes into like this magical world, and you're just like, you kind of have a shot of the back of the protagonist and then like the surroundings. It was kind of like that. I was just like, what the did I just do? So the first person I actually saw that was able to recognize was Jarv, and he was talking to a girl who turned out to be Rocky. Now, if you're familiar with like Korean story times or Korea experience videos, she's someone that I used to personally watch before ever going to Korea. So I go up to them and like Jarv recognizes me and says hi, and I remember I like said to Rocky like, I know you, and I think I told her like I watch your videos, and I just remember saying something along the lines of like, you know, this is a perfect moment for you to like network and do your thing, because she makes really dope songs. And I was just kind of like, you have a great voice, like this is like, you know, you're surrounded by AOMG artists, like girl, do the networking. So while I was talking to her, someone comes up behind her and starts talking to Jarv, and I realized it was Jay Park. So as soon as we made eye contact, I was like, I love your music. I try to say it in a really chill, nonchalant way, but like, I don't know, I was in survival mode. I was like, this is my time to shine. This is your favorite solo Korean America artist. Like, if you do not talk to him now, this is like, never again in your pathetic life will this ever happen. And I think after I told him that, Jarv was like, Puerto Rico, or something along the lines of that, because he remembered from our conversation the night before. And in that moment, like, I told this to my friends, but I never said it in any of the videos. Like, Jay kind of like asked me where I was from, but I just remember he couldn't hear me. So he like grabbed my hands. Girl, men, boys, people. His hands are so soft. They're like, wow. Like, his skin looks amazing. So I know he does great skincare, but his hand care is like on point as well. They were like soft as he was just like, thank you for like what I said like about the music. And after that, they all kind of just like left in a rush. So I was still like really from that. I remember, and this part I'm not proud of, I remember when they were leaving, I asked Rocky, like, hey, do you know where you guys, like, I thought she was going to go with them, so I was, like, asking her, like, what are you guys going to do after this, blah, blah, because, like, my roommate and I are ready to dip. So she wasn't sure what was going on either. I know she's made her own story time. I think it was about the same experience, but I was just, like, in my mind, I was like, what are you doing, Angelita? Just get your ass back into arena and enjoy the $20 that you just paid to be in this club. I turned around and I went back to my housemate, and we had a great time for the rest of the night. We stayed there until 7 a.m. and I had class at 9, and I went to my 9 a.m. class. I was just kind of mind blown by how quickly everything had happened and how all of this crazy weekend happened because of Tinder. Because I am pretty sure, you guys, that if I hadn't gone out with the gin guy, I don't know if I would have gone to Arena that first initial night, that Saturday night, because I probably would have been sleeping by that time, to be honest, and I would have missed the text from Cone. But ironically, thanks to this whole experience and me meeting Cone through Tinder and like having that story time about me and Jay Park, some other stuff ensued, which will be like its own story time in itself, because it doesn't really have to do with clubbing. It's about like this job proposal that Xiomari and I got that had to do with like Daddy Yankee and like bringing him to Korea and stuff. And that also happened because people had heard about like this producer friend that I had and about how I met Jay Park. So by word of mouth, things happened. And it was all thanks to Tinder. That's crazy. So don't underestimate the use of Tinder, okay? Like, yeah, it's for hookups, but hell, it can make you meet celebrities and it can help you get a job. So use it before you judge people who use it. So yeah, I feel like this was kind of all over the place, but that's literally how this weekend was. It was all over the place. A lot of running around, a lot of texting, a lot of making spur of the moment decisions and not giving a So I really cherish this memory, and I'm so happy that I met Jay Park and I got to tell him that I love his music. I wish I had told him more. I wish I had told him that like the festival was great and that, I don't know, that he has great skin. If you want to hear more random story times like this about stupid that I did while I was over there, let me know in the comments. I have some like guy related stories, I have some job related stories, I have some random racist related stories. So just let me know. So just let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see. But in the meantime, you can also check out the San Juan to Seoul vlog series. I have about 47 episodes right now, and I'm constantly updating them because I have like 50 more days of footage that I can share here on YouTube. So until next time, take care and thank you. So bye.